also 3 Livermore Court Street, Pasco, Washington. And the debt certificate services that on your window Microsoft is paid one time. You pay for that service one time. So the service and also the i7, i5, i3, the Generation 10, the i10, i11. That is Microsoft Windows paid one service one time forever. And overcharging the services of service on your insurance for your coverage on your devices is covered for that fee service, and it's called a deductible that's for that service, and that deductible is paid one time and served to your residence and your address for UBI number, your business UBI number, that's paid one time. That service is pay that service one time. That window is yours permanently for life. And they can't take that service from you when you pay that service fee one time. That window you paid, and entry the portal, the UBI number, business UBI number is effective. Every time I walk in Ken Wayman's or the governor's office, face recognition closes service on the driveway, showing that Bill Gates or Jimmy Buffett's house or Jimmy Buffett's office. It shows that program is service on the increments of George Washington House. If you ever show up at George Washington House, the mother, the father, the real father, the sibling on the mausoleum at Mueller Spring Hill, which is the FBI, the CIA. That's Dick Cheney, Liz Cheney, Megan McCain, Senator McCain, John McCain, Roberta McCain, Roberta Barela, which is Roberta McCain, and the service that they have on the SPS service and the SRS vaccinations is $85. That's September, October, November, December. If you ever been vaccinated in September, October, November, or December, you are no longer needed for the services because you're infected with the disease. The vaccination's at $85. Anybody at 70 age up and above, like Jay Mueller, Senator McCain, John F. McCain, that's anthrax, swine flu, biotic, black plague, and also the antibiotics are useless if you're infected with that service. And that's not on making your appointment or sit appointments, and you're dealing with criminal activities, criminal convicts, criminals in City Hall like of course the services Sean Saint, prosecutor of Pasco, Washington, Andy Miller, the prosecutor of State of Washington, and also the service of Mr. Don't forget King County, Seattle, Washington, where the statutes and services expired, and their services for them have criminal convicts and activities be trained to be staff members and service members are affected because of the disputes that they have and the settlements upcoming in the Social Security offices. So false identity, false information, forgery, fraudulence, criminal activities, having sex with criminal activities, having sex with staff members when you also have staff members, and the criminal staff members getting married to override process information, making things up. As you can see, George Washington House has my grandmother, my real mother, and my mother, father on the wall. And that's the entire military force that's in effect. That's 5 million. And that's another 1 million people helping everybody that comes through Washington State, the Golden Gate Bridge, San Francisco, Beverly Hills, and also the concurrent consecutive sentences on the criminal convicts that were indicted for murder, premeditated murder, and also exhibition fighting transpiring on transfer. So when that happens, finger recognition, voice recognition, iris recognition, signature, and on the processing in the Social Security office, all Social Security offices, all 50 states. That includes Canada, and that property ain't for sale, it's for lease. The Simon's Mall, the lots, the islands are rented out for $1,000, which is 2C. And that's Chase Bank, JP Morgan, Wall Street. We rent that out for $1,000. And any island that's inside, that's Starbucks. Now Starbucks got kicked out of the building. Azteca restaurant, Mexican cartel and service got kicked out of the building. And now there's a Japanese cuisine moved into the side, there's an import-export. Their service: potatoes, potato wedges, lamb western products, Red Robin, Flex and Fries, Carl's Jr.'s, Jack in a Box, and also Albertsons, Winco, and don't forget Safeway, Yokes, Rosars, which is California. And that's Safeway, state of California, Beverly Hills, and Oakland, California. Potatoes and Subways. So the services they have in Subways, gas stations, Simon's Malls, and also the gigantic Trump Towers International, which is a family-owned business like Winco on Clearwater. That's Sandy Strong, Dick Cheney, Liz Cheney, and also, don't forget, Roberta McCain and Roberta Barela. Her real maiden name is on the emblem on the wall. It says Trump. The reservations and services for the banquet party restaurant bar is done at through City Hall at 500 East Main Street. That's Bonnie and Yvonne Hernandez, and also Mr. Andy Miller, administration office. Can we alive? People. Now the CBHA and services that they have here in Connell, and also Othello, Washington, and they have a service fee, and the doctor signs off department licensing for your physical. The Gold's Gym signs, they overrides the owners of the gym, of course. And that immigrant and services that they are going through, that's Donald Trump and services, as you see on YouTube, Facebook, the core assessment, that's Andy Miller, and that's Mr. Manis. He got kicked out of the society and the military staff and uniforms. He got kicked out of the Twin Towers. He got kicked out of the Twin Towers and the Trump administration office as a family-owned business, and you're looking at them. The Trump Towers and services, the emblems of my first name, last name, and mother, and grandfather, and immediate family are on the wall, and still on the wall. As you can walk to George Washington House number 42, and Mr. Neighbor 42, Tabler Wallace, retaining $10,000 into the account for that service, for that fee, for faxes, equipment, Microsoft, which is Microsoft 10, and you can never, ever, ever pay for that service ever again, because I paid for that service, and that service, you pay that service, and your domain, your file log, your Microsoft, your Dynamics 365, which is generation, the i7, i3, the i5, the i10, i11, which is Microsoft. That is a 24-hour service, repair service, and service. So the face recognition and the recognition for the eyeball, the finger, and also the face recognition, the fingerprint, the swipe, Google passwords, and those assessments for your password assistance for your accounting system, the FDIC, Social Security automatic transaction, EFT transaction accounts into your account. Chase Bank, Oka Bank, Bank of America, Key Bank, and Bank of America, which is $35 million. Every time you walk into the Social Security office, there's a $35 million deposit inquiry. That deposit inquiry is linked to your manufacturer, your department license, also your birth certificate, and death certificates on top of the wall, as you can see. That's first name, last name, administration, immediate family members, and they're all white minorities. Now, as you can see, they're all white minorities, and there's no chance of relieving that information or taking the plaque or removing the body from the property and then move it to a different area and add an on-Social Security office here in Kennewick, Washington, Gage, and also the 8131 Klamath, Cincinnati. The museum artifacts, the first name, last name are on the wall. That is the administration first of George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, James Madison, and also foreclosure service, which they foreclose those buildings and move it to their services. You can see the Cricket Society in here. Of course, this is Pasco, Washington, and then the Franklin County and Benton County, and also Moses Lake, Grant County, all belongs to, of course, Kennewick, Washington. You should look in small print, administration office, the family-owned business, administration office, CDL AB, the on reckless and service of the talented, no tickets, no citations for crossing the street, and there's no law crossing the street. And especially when you cross the street to another properties called Eric D. Olson, Sean R. Logan, and also Laura Logan, Marty Logan, Andrew Anthony, whatever you might have it. What comes first? And Ajmer Singh Nijjar, that's A.J. Amir, Singh S-A-N-G-H Nijjar, and A.J.J.R. That's Yakima Reservation and Calva Reservation, which is the oil and land from ExxonMobil in Moses Lake on Stratford Road, and also the Simon's Mall corporate, where they're digging on all my property without no permission.
So we're going to come to you live and keep it real. Because definitely the mask and selling surgery services for computer therapy for getting hit by it. This is Stephanie Swamper, Main Jordan. Now she's a millionaire because she hit me with a truck. So she hit me with that truck on a crosswalk, and then a police officer attacked me on the sidewalk. And when I put my items from walking across the street when he threatened me, same officer tased me, stabbed me with a taser, using it as a weapon, and then using his handcuffs as a weapon, grabbing one hand and throwing me around, then calling 911. When I called 911, State Patrol Office, Franklin County, Pasco, Connell, 911, and every dispatch unit here in the state of Washington, from Olympia all the way to every office I walked from California, the Senate office on Highlander, the Senator's office, the Senate office, the Senator's office, U.S. Marshals, bailiffs, FBI, CI Academy, and also administration, because I can run and cross the street to the administration office, which is Nancy Pelosi, Nancy Reagan, and also Mr. Ronald Reagan. And that's the Santa Barbara branch with the emblems and name that's on the wall with my stallions, white stallions, black stallions, and Applebee's 25, and also the Budweiser. They own Budweiser in Nebraska, Washington. The Ranchers Fire, and also Mr. Buffett that owns the Ministry of Peanuts, Dairy Queen, and also Budweiser right across the street with the Closdales. We continue that with a monument mute on the service, which we're in Basin City, go through Connell and Franklin County through the street and back street of Badger Mountain that connects to Queensgate. This is a shortcut. You can go to Queensgate from here, right through the ranches and farms of the back of the Mesa, which is Basin City, here in Franklin County. Franklin County is connected to Queensgate. These are the nuclear containment, nuclear shelters that are held for nuclear war holocaust here for USS Los Angeles, USS Arizona, USS Trump, and USS Enterprise. USS Enterprise, USS Trump, and USS Chicago missile cruiser Tomahawk launched nuclear weapons from nuclear Tomahawk missiles, and then also the Ingram tanks, which are connected to two nuclear device activated propulsion jet engines that goes 0 to 65 miles an hour. The maximum speed for the RT tanks for John Deere Evergreen implement means the United States government. John Deere Evergreen means U.S. government. It's just a brand name for John Deere because society accepts Felix Barela. The original John Deere tractor is on U.S. pre-owned. The original John Deere tractor, the boom and equipment scorpion tail is at Cimaron 5IC. The original John Deere Secretary of State Kim Wayman, the United States Military Elite Force, which that was me, Felix Barela going to Secretary Kim Wayman's office. There's no men allowed in the office, and there's only women allowed, and real women, not he, she's, not it's, as Andy Miller would say. But there is a corporation silent society. There are men and women are posed as women, wearing dresses, wearing artificial simulated body gear, and also artificial boobs, but they use to enhance with steroid enhancement and estrogen. Okay, I know that for a fact because I'm in the surgical floor 7 days a week, in the bank 7 days a week, Social Security office 5 days a week, in the bank 6 days a week, on Sundays at the church. So when they're moderated and taken care of, and sedated and processed and put on surgical floor, because Felix Barela provides services for all societies and walks of life. See the racism, the communism, and also the disputes of silencing the society here in Washington State. Mr. Donald Trump and also Mr. Bill Gates walked out on Microsoft company, active CEO, and he's active CEO for Microsoft, and he's donating $3 million into the hedge account, which the hedge account, Mr. Donald Trump put you on the news, fake news, and you look good in it. You look good in the coma came out of Mr. Donald Trump's mouth. Since I'm residing in residence here in Washington State, there's a gold mine and there's a coal mine shaft, and also a nuclear shaft, a nuclear fallout shaft connected to 1313 West Grand Ronnie. Now, Miss Coffee across the street owns that entire pile, which is Apollo sheeted metal that controls import, export of all ships connected to, of course. As you can see, the emblems, the first name, the last name, the pictures, the photos of all administration office are the immediate family members for the concurrence for conductivity, making sure nobody puts a face of their face of Donald Trump on somebody's face, and as Mr. Donald Trump, Andy Miller, or Mr. Manis, General, and Umpam, General of the Army, and also the NATO Ramos, will say that that's not true to the fact or the criteria of production or fabricating lies of the true himself, Donald Trump, and Felix Barela, Jay Mueller, Amy Mueller, and also Senator John McCain, and also Megan McCain. Because I'm in the residence, in the house, the penthouse suite, walking into the International Airport at Moses Lake, and they're sitting there just making lies. So when Trump and Donald Trump are talking outside in Vaca, Umuganja are talking, and they're having a riot as we speak, as I'm eating in Oakland, California, with this gigantic Sasquatch black Negro. He's a Black Panther. He's doing pull-ups with me in Oakland, California. He's about 420, 480 pounds. On a big given day, he's about 580 pounds. And he gets about 580 pounds because he goes in the hole, beating up all these people because I'm walking around with Donald Trump, Avat, Mumu, and also Ganja. And walking across the street being attacked by an officer, making things up. And I got dispatch records and phone records going straight to Amber's office. And I'm in his office, and they're having a riot as we speak. So they sit there and use their tasers, their equipment, of course, the pepper spray, bear spray, and tear gas from the U.S. government. And I walk in, and it doesn't even affect me. One bit. We're going to download this information. It's a straight walk straight to Bill Gates, with Bill Gates, Kim Wayman, the governor's office in Olympia. And there's 4 or 5 different governors that I reside with and live with, and walk into the administration. This is Kenosha People Bus. Come to you live. This is probably the best armored division you guys Yakima. That's the senator's office in the federal courthouse, Kennedy's building on Jadwin Lee. Mr. Schultz, Mr. Jay Felice, Mr. John Cooney, Jim Cooney, which is malpractice. He's malpracticing now. That's on Garland, but it's called Indiana. And Boston Pizza Restaurant, we get that. It says Donald Trump. Issue a check to Mr. Felix Barela, and this is Canada, Spokane, Kennewick, Richland, Pascal, and also administration office in Seattle. And that's headquarters, which is Kennewick, Washington. We have a liquor fallout shelter that's connected to the service. You can get into the liquor shelter and process information, launch it to liquor sub and combatants, and then flew in Air Force One, and also the services they provide. They're making sure it's in the real Felix Barela, real Donald Trump, and real Mumu Ganja Bach. Face recognition and features Tiffany and Baron Trump, and also don't forget Tiffany and Avat, Mumu Ganja, and Ajmer Singh Nijjar. He's a billionaire. He's from India, Pakistan. He services Pakistan and India, and China and Hong Kong, where I walk straight in the office from California into the state office and Andy Miller's office, because Andy Miller likes to hold me as a baby and touching the gentleness of my scrotums and making sure I'm okay, because I don't have sex with prostitutes. I don't solicitate to contraband and service with criminal convicts. I don't sit down and pass information or eat with criminal convicts or as Andy Miller say, he, she's. Now Andy Miller is so rude in that way. All the generals, NATO admirals are rude in that way because I'm on the surgical floor, removing my rebar and bar and wire into my upper and lower teeth. And all the children are sitting there spitting on all these individuals until they come in front and face Mr. Donald Trump, bringing all this information and data, recovering services in Microsoft of the penetration of the real face, the real Donald Trump, the real Felix Barela. But even though the wig of Donald Trump is surfaced here in Othello on Broadway, and that's Patty Sick and Hansworth, we got Mr. Donald Trump's wig on my face because you're nothing but an intruder. You filed bankruptcy, you're George Bush Sr., you're George Bush Jr., you're Barbara Bush and Mary Bush and Laura Bush, and George Bush's daughters are on a blue bridge harassing me. This is my flag, this is USS Washington. The blue bridge was built in 1919. Lola Hernandez jumped off the bridge because she's an elite force. Indian tribes, reservations, died trying. They strong arm. Now, this is a picture of Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney, Senator McCain pulling Roberta Barela off Ronald Reagan. Now, Ronald Reagan and also the service for Mrs. and Kennedy and Miss Kennedy showing up at 1313 West Grand Lobby, coming to the door entryway, being President of the United States of America, preluding and promoting his sexual favors and staff members, criminal staff members, Havana, Gorilla Bay, Bravo military base, Tomahawk Marine, or Tomahawk base, USS Muscle Crows in Chicago. And that's Donald Trump himself. And Colin Powell, of course, is getting served, and also Obama in the presidential suite, serving as a criminal convict, signing Social Security checks off in front of Felix Barela, Mr. Swartz and Mr. Hatcher, sheriff, convicted for murdering Felix Barela, plotting at Mueller's funeral home, plotting at 1313 West Grand Lane, plotting at the governor's office, and plotting when I'm coming in the Senate office and Andy Miller's office, California State, San Luis Obispo, Pismo, Avila, Shell Beach, and Diablo County, which is shut down because I walk nuclear rods by robotics with full automatic weapons. I have to register every city and every town I walk to. Downtown Los Angeles, O.J. Simpson, Jessica. Now Jessica and O.J. Simpson and Bodacious, they got their confrontations involved because Mr. Cornblau likes to be infiltrating, intimidating Roberta Barela or beating her up in some kind of way, or have her gang bang friends show up and threaten individuals on the fronts of ocean fronts. Come get live. This is raw, incredible service, and the real thing. And this is Bruce Lee, Brandon Lee, and also the service to downtown Seattle. And that's Chinatown with Bill Gates. That's me eating with Chinatown. Japanese family members, immediate Japanese, Chinese family, immediate family members, and also the Indian family, that's Pakistan and India and Fallujah, Iraq, Iran, northern province, and that's Mr. Mattis himself, saying that's the credibility of his statutes that have been fabricated, and of course this whole area has been caught on fire. All family members and little children retaliated for the services that they provided. False information, credibility reports, Sacagawea Apartments, which is the original Sacagawea trails of George Washington himself, walking the trail of Sacagawea, of Pasco, Kennewick, Richland, and also the back streets of Gonzaga University. That's a trail that connects to George Washington emblems, and Abraham Lincoln's monument archives was caught on fire. The White House was caught on fire. The Pentagon was launched missiles at the Pentagon, and they also had Mr. George Bush Jr. sit in the area of black minorities, letting it know that Mr. George Bush Jr. filed bankruptcy, known for fact Felix Barela never been in prison, never been in jail, and confronting all the individuals in their face, and the only thing they could do is make things up and put it on footage. that they've been nuked. The Pentagon, Virginia, U.S. Cheney administration has been nuked, knowing for the fact Mr. Felix Barela's pictures on the wall. He is no fool. He's no adversary. He's no criminal convict. He's no Jew, like Jew graves we have at Mueller's administration. So all they do is trying to get close and start a fight, intimidate. And when they get intimidations, they figure they get a case, they can do a lock and key, process RCW, JSW, but known for the fact I'm Gonzaga University, the whole campus smells like me, because I did everything by my hands and self, and nobody helped me. With the Bobcat, the corporate girl, earth mover, the ribbon, and that'd be Home Depot. Come to you live, an irrigation truck parked at Annie Miller's office, U.S. Marshal's office, bailiff's office, judges, chambers, whatever, what it is what it is. What it is, because in your parking spot, your blood registration, in your Microsoft program, and Bill Gates will not partake of him having future children down the road and having generation of his processing, his information, of flagellating himself at the Yakima Reservation in front of Lola Hernandez, Father Charles, Father Richard, Father Dylan, Father Cepeda, J. Felice, attorney at law, and also administration, Mr. Manis, no more general, got fired 2-3 different times because I'm here, residing, living and being the real man, the real service of contributing, facing enemies, left to right. Anybody in Mr. Madsen, he's a multi-serial killer, and he's still alive. Mr. Yates, he's still alive. He transported me straight to Gonzaga with a bunch of dead bodies in the back of the field because I have no sex with criminals, convicts, or prostitutes. And he kept on saying, yeah, all they're going to do is start problems with you, Felix. They're going to start problems with you because they go in the bank, they go in the criminal records division, they make things up, they say this, they say that, oh, they say contribute to minor crisis centers. But the real thing is, we got equipment, porno division, the porno department, the centerfolds of Donald Trump, Melinda Trump, Tiffany, and also their service graduation certificates. So we don't have people coming in the hospital putting skin on the face saying they're Donald Trump, and walking in the midst saying they're Felix Barela, Donald Trump, Bill Gates anymore. This system going over San Francisco Bridge, driving on the San Francisco Bridge, of course, that's Roberta, Barela, Lola, Sean, and that's Sean Saint, prosecutor in Franklin County, Annie Miller, and also Donald Trump. And they pretty much tried killing Donald Trump. I'm pretty much willing to let you know, putting in writing in concurrency, the service of the deliberation of going, driving a Mustang 6 speed. And this 6-speed Mustang doesn't have no gutters, no chips, has a real engine that drove through City Hall in Richmond, Washington, because she had sex with 18th Street gangbangers, 13th Street gangbangers, BCL from Arizona State, and Mr. Senator McCain, and also Roberta McCain did pictures of archive of these fools. So they dropped them off at Overture Motors in Columbia Center, on Columbia Drive, and also the Kennewick Man in Columbia Center, or Columbia Park, merging with their equipment and liquor equipment, their isolated equipment, snowmakers. You can make it rain, you can make it snow, you can make it have earthquakes and control the United States, the whole world, in your hand. Exposing the community to their services for the citizens is unreal. But you know what? There's no escaping the truth. This is Pasco, Franklin County, and you got terrorists that work in the fields. You got ISIS Taliban members disguised as U.S. citizens work in the fields, making liquor weapons, making liquor bombs, dirty bombs. San Luis Obispo, California, Arizona, New Mexico. Those footprints are mine. Those are my size of my footprints working in New Mexico, into Arizona, into Texas, which those Texas artifact services, the birth certificate is unreal. You got the Princeton wineries, BS Bars, Country Merchant, gas stations through wide. These oil lines that are intercepting from San Francisco, billionaire sector. All gated community, Yakima, Washington's gated community because they're billionaires, mayors, Senator Patty Murray and Cantwell. The windows are bulletproof, the tires are fireproof, the siding of the walls are bulletproof, and their liquor detainment and liquor facility are nuke-proof. You can drop 20, 100 liquor bombs on the liquor shed, it wouldn't do nothing. The food containment water lines are not exposed because they are controlled in a way that is unreal. Donald Trump's living proof, witnessing.